the problem solving is nothing but the mental ability that mainly deals with discovering of the problem. Now the assembler is responsible for converting assembly level language into machine understandable form. After coding, what I'm going to do? I'm going to test my problem, or I'm going to execute my problem. Hello to all, a warm welcome to my new session. I'm Revati, faculty, Department of Computer Science, Vidyashram, Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. Today we are on the first session of 5th chapter, and the chapter name is Problem Solving Methodology. In my today's session, I'm going to deal with introduction about problem solving methodology. Along with that, I'm going to deal with computerized process. Along with that, I'm going to deal with the steps involved in the problem solving process. Along with that, I'm going to deal with problem definition. Along with that, I'm going to deal with problem analysis. Along with that, I'm going to deal with design of solution, and at the end, I'm going to deal with characteristics of algorithm. Before that, let me to give the introduction about the problem solving methodology. Now, tell me what is problem solving methodology and why I require problem solving methodology. So here the word problem solving is nothing but the find the solution for particular problem. So dear student, I repeat once again that here problem solving is nothing but the find the solution for particular problem. So here the problem solving is a mental process. So here what is mental process? It is mainly depends on the mental ability that involves discovering. So here what is discovering? That is nothing but the finding or locating and analyzing the problem and solving the problem. In general, here the problem solving is nothing but the mental ability that mainly deals with discovering of the problem, along with the analyzing the problem, along with the solving the problem. The ultimate goal of problem solving is to find the some solution. So what kind of solution? That is best solution, all the possible solution. That means here the problem solving is nothing but the ultimate way used to find the best solution among all the possible solution, and it is a mental process. Mental process means mental ability in psychology and a computer and process in computer science. That means here the problem solving is mainly going to deal with mental process, that is nothing but the mental ability in psychology along with computer as well as computer science. In computer science, it is a part of artificial intelligence. That means nowadays, what is the trend? That is nothing but artificial intelligence. That means we are going to build a computer system that works like human being, that thinks like human being, and that acts like human being. So it is a simulation process. In computer science, it is a part of artificial intelligence. When I say it is part of artificial intelligence, then that includes algorithms, problem solving, along with the heuristics as well as root cause analysis. That means here computer science, that is CS, is the part of artificial intelligence, that is AI, and this AI includes problem solving as well as algorithms as well as heuristics as well as root cause analysis. So here the problem solving is a large process that includes problem definition. That means you're going to determine the problem. That is nothing but the identify the problem, along with that analyze the given problem and find the solution. Here finding the solution is nothing but the diagnosis. So here problem solving is nothing but a large process, and it involves identifying the problem, analyze the problem and find the solution for particular problem. So here problem solving using computer is a step-by-step methodology to arrive efficient solution. I repeat, here problem solving methodology is nothing but a step-by-step procedure used to find effective and best solution. Consider the example here. Think that I want to find the sum of two numbers. So what is my problem here? I want to find the sum of two numbers. Now this is called determining or identifying the problem. Now I want to analyze the problem. So what kind of problem here it is? That is, I want to find the sum of two number. So here sum of two number means what? I'm going to add two numbers. That is, I'm going to add two numbers. After adding two numbers, that means what kind of number I can able to add here? It may be a real number or it may be a fractional number. Suppose if I'm going to add real number, what is the output I'm going to get? Or suppose if I'm going to add fractional number, then what is the output I'm going to get? And how to store the output and how to display the output. So these are the step-by-step instruction. So here the problem solving using computer is nothing but the step-by-step process or methodology used to find the best solution. Moving further, I'm going to have the man-machine interchange. So what is man and what is machine, and how man and machines are going to interchange here? Because we know that computer is an electronic machine or device that is capable to execute only the instruction or data, and whatever the data or instruction I'm going to feed to my computer system, that must be in some format. That means here computers are capable to understand only machine language. So what is machine language here? That is nothing but binary digit 0 and 1s. That means computer is capable to understand only machine language, because computer does not understand Kannada, Tamil or English language, because here computer system is capable to understand only machine language, and that is nothing but zeros and ones. So most of the instructions are written by using assembly level language or machine level language or high level programming language. Suppose the instructions are written by using assembly level language, then I want to convert assembly level language into machine level language, because the computer is capable to understand only machine level language. So what I required here? I require translator. So I require language translator. Now the assembler is responsible for converting assembly level language into machine understandable form, that is machine language. Suppose if I'm going to have high level programming language, that means all the instructions are written by using high level programming language. Now what translator I'm going to have? That is nothing but the compiler, or I'm going to have interpreter. Now I'm going to convert the high level language into object code with the help of translator, that is nothing but the interpreter. And each new programming language is designed to improve the man-machine interface. That means whatever the new programming language we are going to have, that is mainly designed in order to improve the man-machine interface. And the problem solving process starts with the problem specification and end with the concrete, that is correct program. That means here we are going to have problem solving process. That means we are going to have the problem, and at the end what we are going to have? That is nothing but the proper solution or final solution. So the problem solving process starts with the problem specification and ends with the concrete, that is nothing but the correct program or correct output. Moving further, I'm going to have the steps involved in the problem solving process. That means what are the steps that is going to involve during problem solving analysis or methodology. In that first one, problem definition. That means I want to find the definition of the problem, or I want to identify the problem, that is nothing but problem definition. So after identifying the problem, what I want to concentrate, that is I want to identify the problem analysis. Along with that, what I want to do? I want to write the algorithm for that particular problem. Then what I'm going to do? I'm going to code the problem. After coding, what I'm going to do? I'm going to test my problem, or I'm going to execute my problem. Once I got the result and it is appropriate result, after that what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a documentation of that problem. So these are the certain steps involved during software development life cycle, that is nothing but SDLC, software development life cycle. Now consider the example here for problem definition. That is, consider the example that I want to find the sum of two numbers. So this is nothing but your problem definition. Then what is problem analysis? That is, I'm going to analyze the problem. So what's the problem I'm going to have here? That is, I want to add two number and I want to find the sum of two number. So what are the problem I'm going to have here? The number may be a real number or it may be a whole number, that is nothing but integer number. Now I want to find the difference between what is real number and what is whole number. Along with that, if I add whole number, what's the output I'm going to get? If I add fractional number, what is the output I'm going to get? All the things are carried out under problem analysis. Once I got the solution for my problem, what's my next step? That is, I'm going to write the algorithm. So what is algorithm here? That is nothing but it is a sequence of finite set of instruction. That means I'm going to give finite set of instruction. That means start my problem, then read the input, perform certain steps of calculation, then write the output. So these are the certain step of statement. That is nothing but the finite set of statement. Once I done with algorithm development, what is my next step? I'm going to convert this algorithm into my program. So that is nothing but the coding. And once I done with coding, what is my next step? I want to compile, or I want to test and debug my program. Once I done with testing as well as debugging and I got proper result, what is my next step? I'm going to make a documentation of that program. That is called documentation. And these are the stages of software development life cycle. Moving further, I'm going to have the problem definition. So now tell me, what is problem definition in our real life? So here, if I consider our real life, it may be any complex real life problem. And first we have to define the problem by answering the following question. That means whatever the problem we are going to have, first we are going to ask some questions which is related to your problem. Along with that, we are going to find the solution for that problem. So what is the first question I'm going to have? That is, what is the computer program does? Then what is my next question I'm going to have? What task will it capable to perform, and what kind of data will it use, and whether will it get the data from, and what will be the output of the program, and how does the program interact with the computer user. So these are the certain questions we are going to ask, and at the same time we are going to find the solution for these questions. Moving further, I'm going to have problem analysis. That means once I done with problem definition, what is my next step? That is problem analysis. So here analyzing the problem or analysis involves identifying the problem. That means once again it is a procedure or step involved to identify the following steps. That is, what is the input and what kind of data I'm going to feed. Along with that, what is the output and any additional requirements or constraints on the solution. That means here we are going to find the solution for particular problem. That includes input. That means what kind of input I can able to feed. That is nothing but the data of you have to work with. Along with that, what kind of output I'm going to get. Along with that, if there is any additional requirements are needed or any constraints are required. These are the certain steps comes under problem analysis. Moving further, I'm going to have the another step, that is design of solution. Now we got problem definition as well as problem analysis. So here, to represent the solution to the problem using tools such as algorithms and flowchart. That means after identifying the problem, after analyzing the problem, I know what is the problem and what is the solution. Now I want to represent the solution by using some tool, that is nothing but the algorithm and flowchart. That means to represent my solution, here I'm going to use algorithm as well as flowchart. Now tell me, what is algorithm? Once again, it is finite set of instruction, whereas flowchart is nothing but the pictorial representation of the solution. So these are the two tools used to design your solution. Moving further, I'm going to have the algorithm development. Now tell me, what is algorithm? Here algorithm is an step-by-step finite sequence of instruction. That means I'm going to give the instruction one by one, and it is in the form of finite, that is finite sequence of instruction that is mainly used to solve well-defined problem. So I'm going to write the step-by-step finite sequence of instruction. So write step-by-step procedure and then verify that the algorithm solves the problem as intended. That means now I'm going to write the step-by-step finite number of instruction in order to solve my problem. The word algorithm originates from the word algorithm. So here the word algorithm came from the word algorithm, and it is nothing but the process of finding arithmetic with Arabic numerals, and it is developed by the Arab mathematician Muhammad al-Khwarizmi, and it is a combination with the word arithmetic becomes algorithm. That means here the word, it is a combination of arithmetic as well as algorithm, and the word algorithm was invented by the Arab mathematician, that is Muhammad al-Khwarizmi. So here the word algorithm was used by the mathematician, that is Arab mathematician Muhammad al-Khwarizmi. Let's see the characteristics of algorithm. So here algorithm is nothing but the well-defined algorithm. That is, it is a finite set of instructions. So a well-defined algorithm has 5 basic characteristics as follows. That means a well-defined algorithm includes 5 basic steps. In that first one, input. So algorithm starts with the procedural steps to accept input data. That means in our algorithm, what is my first step I'm going to have? That is input. I'm going to specify what kind of input I'm going to feed. That is nothing but algorithm starts with the procedural steps to accept input data. The algorithm must accept one or more data to be processed. That means whatever the algorithm, if I'm going to consider, that must be capable to access more than one type of data. Then what is my next characteristics? That is definite. That means each operational step or operation must be definite. That means whatever the operation I'm going to perform, or if I'm going to have any number of operations, that must be definite. That is, each and every instruction must be clearly specified that what should be done. That means while preparing your algorithm or while writing your algorithm, you must want to write the specific statement. That means if I write this statement, what's the output or what I'm going to get? You want to define very clearly. So that is, each and every instruction must be specified clearly. Moving further, I'm going to have another characteristics, that is effective. That means each operational step can, at least in principle, is carried out by a person using a paper and a pencil in maximum number of times. That means Whatever the operational steps you are going to write, before going to write, but with the help of paper and pencil, you can able to write multiple times. Once you satisfied with your algorithm, then only go for further implementation. So each operational step can be at least some principle. That means while writing operational steps, you want to use some principles. That means use pencil or pen and write the maximum number of times in order to get the finite solution. The next characteristics I'm going to have here is terminate. That means after some maximum number of operation, algorithm must come to an end. That means after performing some operation, the algorithm must comes to an end. That means there must be an exit. Then the last characteristics we are going to have, that is output. That means an algorithm is written to solve the problem, therefore it must produce one or more output. That means at the end I must have some output. So here algorithm is nothing but a finite number of sequence of instruction that is given to your computer system. Then what is the characteristics of algorithms? Here algorithms includes input. Along with that, it is going to have definite number of status. Along with that, it must have effective, and there must be a termination condition. Along with that, I want to get the output. So these are the 5 characteristics of well-defined algorithm. So dear student, in my session, I started with what is problem solving, how we can able to solve the problem. Along with that, we had discussion regarding what is problem statement, how to analyze the problem, how to determine the problem, how to write the algorithm, and what are the characteristics of algorithm. Dear student, when I am talking about problem solving methodology, I can able to consider real-time problem or real life problem. But why I required problem solving methodology here? I want to find some particular solution for my problem. For that reason, I'm going to have flowchart as well as algorithms. These are the 2 tools mainly used to define and solve the problems which comes under computer science. Dear student, in my next session, I'm going to deal with some more information about algorithm. Until then, keep watching and keep learning. Thank you.